Hey, this is Dr. Sanchez. I'm back for part two. We're talking again about why women leaders face burnout more often and how to combat this. So, in the previous episode, we discussed some of the root causes for work related stressors that impact women and women leaders in particular. And we talked about some ways that you can avoid and reduce stress and its impact upon your personal and professional life. So, in today's episode, we're going to keep talking about those actionable ways to avoid stress. And I'm also going to share a client experience about this topic. So, I had worked with a client named Gina who had been working in a senior level management position, and she was overseeing a small department. Okay. Unfortunately, she had felt as though her responsibilities required that she micromanage everything and oversee every project that her department produced. The result was that she delegated less. She was working 14 to 18-hour days. But for Gina, she had small children and a family at home, plus a lengthy commute and aging parents that needed care. So for her, all in all, her plate was full and it was spilling over. So let me tell you that this feeling that she had about being overwhelmed, it really had been controlling everything in her life. And it was tied directly to a fear of a number of things for her. One of the fears was she had a fear of punishment, coupled by a fear of looking less than professional. And so as a result, she had created this subculture within her department that required that her very competent staff were more than dependent upon her. In fact, they deferred everything to her. And this was all something that she had created. So part of our reason for working together when I met Gina was that she was burnt out and she was struggling to keep it together. And I believe that she really was on the verge of having a breakdown. She had these faulty beliefs that were leaving her feeling trapped in this cycle that she could not get out of. And she felt that she had to do her job exactly this way and this way only. That rigidity that she had about how she was doing things was keeping her feeling as though she could not move and do what she needed to do for herself. But also because she micromanaged everything, she failed to keep her eyes on the prize, if you will. In this case, it would have been an opportunity to promote because she was so busy doing the work, right? That she couldn't self-promote her achievements. She failed to present herself as leader-like, and she often avoided opportunities to speak up or be visible because she was so busy. Now, these excuses basically leveled her career trajectory, which left her feeling stuck, rightly so, right? So we had to come back to the basics. Gina and I had to talk about really the mindset piece first, because without addressing that, we couldn't move forward with the promotion piece. We had to tackle the mindset piece first because this was impacting upon her career confidence. So I want to skip ahead and talk about, some strategies that you can work on if this is you or you're similar to Gina, where you're struggling with being able to manage all the spinning plates, right? And you just don't know if you could take it one more day. So one of the things that we talked about was remembering your why and what's really important here. Now, if you're feeling stressed out in your career or in a relationship, a professional relationship, this can usually be a sign that is manifest in things like you feeling unhappy, okay? And you also feel like everything that is coming at you has to somehow be managed by you, and it's something that you have to do. But the reality is you have to remain purpose-driven in your leadership. So if you're in your career situation right now where you've lost track of who you are as a professional, you don't remember why you're doing this, or in a professional relationship where, maybe you're the senior leader over a department or CEO or something like that, or a VP, and you're doing all these things that don't feel like you, and you've lost track of the values that are important to you, I caution you to come back. Come back to why it is that you're doing what you're doing, what's really important for you at the end of the day, okay? Think about your why and what's really important. In Gina's case, her why and what was really important was tied to some of the values that she had about empowering women, empowering people of color, being able to do work that was meaningful, all of these things that had to do around being able to make a difference. And she felt as though her instrumental tasks that she was doing on a daily basis and the chain that she had created for herself that tied her to her desk and her job was sabotaging that. And so we had to let that go. Okay. The other thing is maintaining and setting healthy boundaries. Being able to create boundaries between your home and work life are very important. And I know I've talked about that on several episodes, but it's extremely important because, especially for high achievers, we get lost in the doing. And we forget sometimes to be able to promote those boundaries in a way that has us feeling good about promoting those boundaries, right? Because we have this desire to serve and prove and show that we are capable, competent, and ready to go. But the reality is, like I said, is that you can blur those boundaries between your personal time, your professional time, and even have people misperceive what type of leader that you are. So by defining, setting, and sticking to boundaries, that's going to help you appear to be a stronger leader. Even when the situation around you is stressful and it feels like it's somewhat chaotic, being able to be definitive, make decisions, and exercise the boundaries, and sometimes make those tough decisions is going to help you to care better for yourself and care better for the employees or those that are dependent upon you in your leadership role. So maintain and set healthy boundaries. The other thing I would suggest you do, and that we worked with Gina on, was self-care comes first, AKA me time, okay? And this means being able to take the time that you need when you need it. It could be taking time off. It could be blocking out time for yourself. It could be having time when you're not available or spending time with your family. But it's me time. It's time where you focused on yourself. And basically the gist is being able to be rested and restored and happy so that you can come back feeling able to serve and come back feeling like you're able to do your job, okay? So if this is the first episode that you're listening to in this series, in part 1, we talked about 2 other strategies that you can go back and listen to. But what I'm saying to you here today is that before we could help Gina acquire the promotion that she was seeking, we had to work on the mindset piece because it was impacting her confidence. Her forgetting about her why and what was really important, her not setting appropriate boundaries, her not caring for herself was leaving her feeling exhausted. She was lacking in motivation and she was micromanaging everybody and everything around her because she was fearful of not being taken seriously as a leader. And unfortunately, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. She couldn't be seen as someone that could manage high-level responsibilities. And so we had to break that set by allowing her to relax and let go in those areas that she could, which freed her up to start looking more visible and leader-like in the times and situations that were important for her. And as a result, she was able to gain more visibility, gain more high-level roles, and ultimately achieved a promotion. And she did this all in a very short period of time, okay? But it had to start with that internal shift. She had to make the decision to change and then be committed to the outcome, which is the vision that she had for her life and her career. And so I know it can be scary because it can feel like it's very high stakes and that it's an all or nothing situation when it comes to your career and it comes to advancing, it comes to that next level opportunity. But sometimes you have to take a step back, not literally like stepping out of your position, but I mean, as far as how you're perceiving the situation, you have to take a step back and think about being strategic. And that's what we were able to do here. But the strategy starts with focusing on yourself first and getting some get right, as I like to say, so that you can get yourself back on track regain and connect with your confidence and be the type of competent and capable leader that you know that you can be. So I hope that this episode has been helpful to you. That's it for today. My name is Dr. Sanchez. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.